With March 17th getting closer and closer, I thought, let's start talking free agency. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, today we're finally going to start talking free agency. We're going to talk who the Dolphins, in my mind, should cut and or re-sign. And then also we're going to talk about a potential 17th game. What? But before we jump into that, I got to shout out my guys at Patch Vibes. You guys already know about patchvibes.com. Be sure to check them out on Twitter and check out their stuff. This is this patch. We got this patch from them. They got this awesome pin. I also have some really cool t-shirts, some other patches. Check them out. Use the promo code DDW. You get yourself 20% off. So yes, let's jump into this. The Miami Dolphins, the NFL right now is working on a new CBA, and the Dolphins are going to be playing with a potential 17th game. So that's what's happening right now. The NFL is trying to add a 17th game and get rid of two free preseason games. So essentially it'd be two preseason games, then an extra 17th game. And the Miami Dolphins supposedly, this is the rumors out there, this is the reports out there, but supposedly are going to be playing the New York Giants on the road, which means they're coming here. So if this is true and the Miami Dolphins play the Giants as their 17th game in New Jersey, up at the, I used to call it the Meadowlands, then it was called Giant Stadium, now it's called MetLife. Shows my age a little bit there. I will be going to that game. Hopefully we can go to these games, but I will be going to that game, which means I'll be going to two games, Jets and Giants, which I really hope happens. It's right up the road for me. So that is some of the news that came out yesterday, is that the NFL is trying to add a 17th game, and the Dolphins will be playing the Giants on the road if that is a thing that's going to happen. But yeah, let's talk about free agency, right? March 17th is the start of the new league year, which essentially is the start of free agency. We all know that there's that whole week of tampering period where you get to figure out, okay, so-and-so has agreed to a contract with so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. So March 17th kind of is a little bit obsolete. March 17th is more official, I guess you could say. This is a day everything that happens becomes official. So I'm going to be talking about who the Dolphins should cut and who the Dolphins should re-sign. But first, we need to talk about how much money the Miami Dolphins actually will have come March 17th. So the estimated cap range is about $175 million. Imagine that. What are we, 1956? 175 million to 190 million is what the cap range is going to be. I think it went up about 10 million. Normally it goes up by more, but again, with everything that happened, with the lack of people in the stands and a lack of a lot of other things, the cap didn't rise as much as it usually does. The Miami Dolphins, come March 17th, will have $157.5 million committed to players. So right now, if you go on Sports Track, which is a fantastic site that I like to use, I think they're around like 160, give or take, maybe more or less. That includes players that are still on their active roster. The 157.5 is what those guys are free agents, which we'll talk about. So that leaves the Miami Dolphins come March 17th at a cap of $22.5 million under the cap, not including the carryover of $15.4 million. So they have $15.4 million right now. Come March 17th, they will have $22.5 million. You take those two, you smash them together, you get $38 million under the cap is what the Miami Dolphins will have to play with. Now, that's not including what would happen if they cut certain players that we will talk about. So looking at the situation that the Dolphins will be at, say they don't cut anybody. Say they keep all of their players going into free agency, $38 million, 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. Again, set themselves up beautifully to continue to build this team for success and continue to build this team for longevity. That's the thing that people keep forgetting. What the Dolphins are doing isn't the flash in the pan that they used to do. Oh, let's go out and get a Mike Wallace. Let's go out and get a Ndamukong Suh. Let's pay a lot of money for a Brandon Albert. Let's go out and make these big splashy moves. Darnell Ellerbe, remember how when we signed him, everyone was like, yeah, we got our linebacker, and he sucked. Kevin Burnett, all these guys, right? Make big splashy moves. They don't pan out. We have a lot of dead cap to these certain players, and then all of a sudden we still are mediocre to sucking. Now the Dolphins are like, we're not doing that. We're not throwing big fat cash at players, even though they did with Byron Jones. The Dolphins are building for longevity. They want a consistent, sustained success. So $38 million. Now, looking at players that I would potentially cut. Now, I'm going to list a name. I think I have 6 players here that are, from what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, what I'm seeing, and my own thoughts, I see as potential cuts. I will tell you which ones I will actually cut, but these are names that I'm hearing are potential cuts. Now, if I say a name, don't go down to the comment section and say, why would you cut it? I'm just saying, I'll tell you if I'd cut him or not afterwards. So wait to comment below. Bobby McCain, cap hit 7.1 million, dead cap of 1.4 million, with a 5.7 million save. The another person out there is Albert Wilson. Again, wait. Do not run down and comment below. Wait. Cap hit of 5.1 million, dead cap of 2.3 million, savings of 2.8 million if they cut him, but he did redo his contract last offseason, so that is an intriguing one. Jakeem Grant, cap hit of 4.6 million, dead cap of 1.8, which is a 2.8 million savings. Jesse Davis, now he's not a name that's not really been floated out there, but he's a name that I'm thinking. Cap hit of 4.5 million, dead cap of 2 million, which easy math for me. 2.5 million savings. Allen Hurns, this one's interesting. Cap hit of 2.8 million, dead cap of 3.3 million, which is a negative $500,000 loss. So no savings in that one. And Clayton Fedulum, cap hit of 2.4 million, dead cap of 1 million. Again, easy math for me. 1.4 million savings. So out of those 6 players, who would I cut? Now, Bobby McCain, say the Dolphins cut all of them, right? Say the Dolphins cut every single one of these people. They would save $13.2 million, which gives them roughly $51.2 million in under the cap. If my math is correct, 38 million plus 13.2 million. Yes, I think it's 51.2 million under the cap. So if the Dolphins ended up cutting Bobby McCain, Albert Wilson, Jakeem Grant, Jesse Davis, Allen Hurns, and Clayton Fedulum, Allen Hurns doesn't make sense, and I'll talk about that in a second. They'd go from 38 million to 51.2 million under the cap. A lot of money to do what they want. Here's who I would cut. This is my opinion. This is who I would cut. Bobby McCain, he played well this season. He didn't play bad, didn't give up big plays, didn't do anything bad. But would the Dolphins want to put an actual, legit safety in that position, not a corner to safety, kind of like Eric Rowe? It's both our corner safeties used to play corner. 5.7 million savings is a big amount of money. You can bring in a solid player with that amount of money. So I'm non-committal on this one. If the Dolphins do cut him, I understand why with the 5.7 million savings. If they don't, I understand why, because he played solid for us. But this is a player that I can honestly see the Dolphins moving on from and saving that 5.7 million. Albert Wilson, I do not see them cutting. He took a pay cut last year. He's only about a 2.8 million savings. If he gets back to 100%, he has the year off with the opt-out, get the hip back to where it needs to be. He could be a very good, dangerous weapon for Tua in the slot. So I'm actually not cutting out Albert Wilson. I'm leaving him. Jakeem Grant, I am cutting. I had so much hope for him. If you guys go back and look, I showed that when he's on, he's on. He helps us with the kick return game, but I'm just cutting him. It's not working anymore. He's dropped too many big play balls. It's not even with Tua, with Fitzpatrick as well, dropping too many passes. 2.8 million savings. I'm cutting Jakeem Grant. Jesse Davis is a name that I threw out there because Jesse Davis struggled so bad this past season, especially when they moved into left tackle, giving up a ton of sacks. 2.5 million savings. I'm going to cut Jesse Davis. I think they should add some better pieces on that offensive line. The rookies played better than the vets this past season. Eric Flowers, his dead cap is a lot, so he's not going anywhere, but I think Jesse Davis they should move on from. Allen Hurns isn't going anywhere. You're essentially eating $500,000. You're paying him to play somewhere else with a dead cap of 3.3. I'm just keeping him on the team. We need the wide receiver help, especially with the potential of Preston Williams and Devontae Parker getting injured. I'm going to keep Allen Hurns. I'm keeping Albert Wilson. Clayton Fedulum, I am going to cut. He did struggle once he was put in the safety position, saving $1.4 million. So, again, Jakeem Grant, I'm cutting. Jesse Davis, I'm cutting. Clayton Fedulum, I'm cutting. Bobby McCain, I don't know how I feel about that one. Saving $5.7 million is big. You know what? If I have to make a decision right now, I'm going to cut Bobby McCain. So that's a savings of, if my math is correct, so we have 5.3, and then 6.7, and then $12.4 million they saved. I just did that off the top of my dome. You can check my math, but a lot of money. So 12, we're at about 40 million under the cap with the cuts that I was saying. Now we're looking at who we should re-sign. The list of free agents that we have. Now we have some restricted free agents, which means the Dolphins have first dibs at them, and that is Isaiah Ford, Jake Ruddick. Unrestricted free agents, they're gone. Dolphins can't really put a tag on them, put a tender on them, can't do anything. And then you have, Jamal Perry, Nick Needham, and Calvin Munson, who are restricted free agents as well, that the Dolphins have first dibs on. But looking at this list of, and I'll pop up the list so you can see how long these free agents are. There's some big names on here. Not big as in the league is going to chomp at the bit to get them, but Ryan Fitzpatrick. I honestly don't see Ryan Fitzpatrick coming back. I know I'm a big Ryan Fitzpatrick fan. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick, the heart, the way he helped this team. He wants to start. He doesn't want to sit behind Tua again. So I see Ryan Fitzpatrick moving on. I would love it if he came back for a minimum and helped this team some more, in the advisory role or like the helping role, but I don't see it happening. You have Matt Breida, Gruger Hill, Ted Karras, Vince Beagle, our punter, Landon Roberts. These are some guys that are some big, and Devon Gottschall. Devon Gottschall has also become a free agent, but I think with the play of Zeiler, with the play of Wilkins, Jesse Davis, I think Devon Gottschall is probably going to move on. But, Matt Breida, we brought him in. When he had his chance, he didn't do much. Is there potential to bring him back? Gruger Hill, Ted Karras. We only signed him to a one-year deal, but his market value is around $10 million. I don't know if the Dolphins are going to want to give him $10 million when they can get some very good safety help, whether in free agency and also the draft. I will talk about that when we get to the draft. Punter, Hawk, he did all right, but again, punters are a dime a dozen. The players that I'm probably trying to bring back, Nick Needham, yes, he had some ups and downs, but he's a very solid player. I'd like to bring him back. Mac Hollins, he's an unrestricted free agent, but Mac Hollins is a very good special teamer, so I'd like to bring him back. Vince Beagle, I'd like to bring him back. He showed when he was on the field. In 2019, he was one of the best defensive players we had. I'd like to bring Vince Beagle back. I'd like to bring back either Gruger Hill or Landon Roberts. I think those guys would really help the linebacker core. Matt Breida is another guy that I'm thinking. Even DeAndre Washington is another player. But I'm not bringing back Isaiah Ford. The Dolphins essentially traded him, and they probably are ready to move on from him. Adam Pankey, I'm not bringing back. Jamal Perry, like I said, Gottschall, Julian Davenport, Jake Ruddick. There's so many times that guy's been cut and brought back. I don't think I could see him being brought back. So the names I'm looking at is Breida, either Hill or Roberts. Beagle, I'm not bringing back Ted Karras. That's going to be too much money. And he played like I said, he played all right. A lot of people think he sucked this season, but I think it was more the guards that didn't help versus him. But I'd like to bring back Nick Needham and Mac Hollins. So Nick Needham, Mac Hollins, Beagle, Roberts, Gruger Hill, and Breida. Now, some of these guys probably might get better offers somewhere else, and that's the other thing we have to think about. You get a better offer somewhere else, sure. Or if you don't like the offer the Dolphins give you and you think you can get a better offer somewhere else, then they test the free agent market, and then all of a sudden they think, well, that's what happens a lot, right? Say we hit up Mac Hollins and we're like, hey, we'll offer you, 2 years, $4 million with incentives, whatever, right? I'm just throwing a number out there because he made $758,000 in 2020. So say we give him like $1 million a year, or a 1.5 million a year, because he's a really good gunner on special teams. And he did have some nice catches, especially the Raiders game. He saved our butts. Say we offer him that, right? We offer him like $2 million a year with incentives. So there's incentive based in there. And he's like, I'm going to test the free agent market. I think I can get about $4 million a year. And Dolphins are like, all right, yeah, go. And then the best offer he gets in the free agent market is $1.5 million a year. And that's with incentives. He'd come back to Miami and be like, oh, I'll take that $2 million a year. And then the Dolphins are like, no, we'll offer you like 1.8. That's a lot of times what happens. These players also have to take that gamble on themselves. When the Dolphins offer them an amount of money, if they think they can get more out there and they don't, they can come back to the Dolphins. The Dolphins could be like, well, if this is what the market dictates, we're not going to overpay you. So that's a lot that goes on. But Dolphins have first dibs at all of these free agents, and those are the names that I'm looking at bringing back. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Who, if there's somebody out of the 6 names that I didn't name that you think the Dolphins should cut, comment below. Let me know. Also, who would you like to bring back out of that long list of free agents that we have? Comment that below. And I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. And this comment comes from Finn's Rack. And he says, hey, Doug, what direction do you expect Flores taking this offseason with the team? Like cleaning house at certain position groups, then using cap to replace them, etc. I honestly, like I said before, I honestly think that the Dolphins will stay the course and will consistently build for the future and build a sustainable, successful team. I think that you'll see a lot more offense this year. Last year, the Dolphins were going very much defense, and you saw what happened with the defense when it took a huge jump and became a top 10 defense in the NFL. I think that now they're focused. I think they took one section at a time. So they started with the defense. Now I think they're flipping over to the offense, and I honestly think you're going to see a lot of focus on offense, whether it's weapons, whether it's offensive linemen, what. It's going to be a very big offense, but you'll also get some defense because if you notice last year was big on defense, a little sprinkles of offense. I think it's going to be very big on offense, a little sprinkles of defense. And then I think year 3, you'll really see the team just be even based and start doing whatever they need to. So expect, like I said, expect a big jump in 2021. I didn't expect them to win. I expected 8-8, 9-7 last year. They won more than that. Now my expectations are a little bit higher from. You go 10-6, you need to do better than 10-6. And I think if they do what they did last year in building the defense right, where we have a top 10 defense, if they continue that, we have a top 10 offense, top 10 defense, definitely can win the division, definitely get far in the playoffs. So I think that's what I could see the Dolphins doing, focusing more on offense with little sprinkles of defense, the opposite of what they did last year. But that is the video. Be sure to comment below. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about playing the Giants in a 17th game? Comment below. Next video is going to be another Mythbusters video. You guys do seem to like those, so I'm going to keep the trend going. I've been writing down every myth you guys been wanting me to bust, so expect those. Also, check out Miami Sports Music, fantastic website and YouTube channel. I'm partnering with them, so is TD. So be sure to go over it. Check them out. If you like Solo D, you know who Miami Sports Music is. But other than that, I'll see you guys Friday with the next Miami Dolphins Mythbuster video. I'm not telling you what it is, but you got to check it out. It's a good one. It's a very good one. But like usual, guys, stay classy. Fins up.